Broadcasting across the U.S. and around the world. Good morning, radio friends. My name is Vern Sherd, and welcome to the Retro Oldies Brunch, the show that takes a nostalgic look back at music history. This month we'll visit the 60s as we take you on a trip back in time 65 years to visit the earliest year that is featured by our station, the year that was 1960. Our showcase will feature anecdotes about the songs and artists and include news and entertainment briefs. We'll also have our 3-of-a-kind music trivia segment, a forgotten 1960 hit from our radio vault, and a long-distance dedication from one of our listeners. On this month's showcase, we feature a novelty song about a caveman, and a song that topped the charts on 2 completely different chart runs. This showcase is full of star power as we feature 8 acts in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, including a couple of inaugural inductees. We'll begin our 1960 showcase with one of 2 instrumentals featured. This one is widely considered to be one of the greatest guitar songs and is a surf music classic by a band who is also known for the classic TV theme song from Hawaii Five-0. Here are Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, The Ventures, with Walk, Don't Run. And now we're up to the song that topped the pop charts in 2 different chart runs, one in 1960 and another in 1962, a rarity in chart history. It is performed by an artist who is known for popularizing dance styles such as the pony and the limbo. His contributions to pop music will finally be recognized next month as he is inducted into the 2025 class of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Born Ernest Evans, we know him as Chubby Checker. Here he is with The Twist. Welcome back. I'm Vern Sherd, and now it's time for a look back at the year that was 1960. JFK benefited from the first televised presidential debate and wins the election. The classic American novel To Kill a Mockingbird is published. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, known as OPEC, is formed. And the King of Rock and Roll and inaugural inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class tops the pop charts for the 13th time. Here's Elvis and Stuck on You. In 1932, cartoonist V.T. Hamlin created a comic strip that introduced a colorful cast of prehistoric characters that took place in the fictional Bone Age instead of the Stone Age. The lead character was a caveman who lived in the kingdom of Mu. 28 years later, a studio band recorded a song about the character and it topped the Billboard Pop Charts. Here are the Hollywood Argyles with Alley-Oop. And now it's time for our long-distance dedication. We got an email from Alan from Massachusetts. This is Alan from Boston, Massachusetts, and this email is for Vern and his dedication feature. I am emailing you a story about one of my beloved neighbors. I live in a condo community in downtown Boston, and over the years I have grown to become very close to my neighbors in the building. One of my neighbors was an elderly lady named Helen. When I bought the condo, I noticed that Helen often kept to herself. She always seemed kind of sad whenever I'd run into her when I'd get my mail or pass her in the hallways. I finally got the chance to introduce myself when I offered to change batteries in her smoke detectors. My instincts told me that Helen could use a friend, so I decided to invite her over once a week for dinner. We learned a lot about each other as the weeks and months passed, including that she was a widow. This was a big reason behind her loneliness. When the COVID lockdown occurred in 2020, I had to work from home and Helen and I had numerous Zoom calls to keep connected. I was extra careful because Helen was elderly. When the lockdown was lifted, we were eventually able to resume our weekly dinners. Other residents often held events at the building's clubhouse, and we had a special 80th birthday celebration for Helen last fall. Unfortunately, Helen's health began to take a turn for the worse over the winter. She entered hospice, and Helen passed away this spring. Our close-knit group of residents were saddened by Helen's passing, and I wanted to memorialize her in our memory with a dedication. Could you please play Fly Away by John Denver? Helen has flown away to be reunited with her husband and is looking down from above, smiling at us for adding joy to her life. Thanks for doing this for us. Sincerely, Alan. Well, Alan, that was such a sweet story, and it was very thoughtful of you and your community to befriend someone who really needed it. Alan, here is your long-distance dedication. Welcome back to the Retro Oldies Brunch. I'm Vern Sherd, and now it's time for another look back at the year that was 1960. The top movies are Swiss Family Robinson and Psycho. Gunsmoke and Wagon Train were the top TV shows. Singer Eddie Cochran dies at age 21, and legendary film star Clark Gable dies at age 59. And number one this week in 1960 is one of three chart toppers by an artist who we sadly lost over the summer. She was one of the top-selling female artists of the 50s and 60s and sold over 100 million records, cementing her place as one of the top-selling acts in music history. She had an amazing 35 top 40 hits. This is My Heart Has a Mind of Its Own by Connie Francis. That was Save the Last Dance for me, and that concludes this week's Retro Oldies Brunch, the year that was 1960. If you haven't already done so, be sure to connect with DJ Greyhound Radio on LinkedIn for a monthly schedule, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for showcase clips. Next month, we'll feature another year in music with the year that was. Until next time, radio friends, this is Vern Sherd saying, don't be afraid to aim high with your goals. Even if you come up short, you'll still end up at a better place. You're listening to DJ Greyhound Radio, playing the hits of the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s.